What's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we've got Eugene Bareman on how Robert Whittaker surprised him, Khamzat Chimaev unhappy with all the cameras at his new gym, Shaq's favorite fighter, and much more. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel to see more videos just like this. Now let's get into it. Robert Whittaker was a bit risk-averse in his title fight against Israel Adesanya, surprising the champ's coach. The main event for UFC 271 has come and gone, with Israel Adesanya still the undisputed UFC middleweight champion. And while there has been a lot of praise for his performance, Adesanya's coach, Eugene Bareman, thought Whittaker may have had more in the tank than he was unwilling to let out. Case in point, this is what the 2020 MMA Coach of the Year said surprised him the most from Whittaker during Saturday's main event.
As we felt the fight was slipping away from Robert, we thought he would risk the biscuit a bit more. But he seemed very content to not come after it as aggressively as we thought he might at the start of each round. So
Bareman thought that Whittaker would be much more aggressive offensively to take Izzy out with the few chances he had, especially at the start of the rounds, when he was able to have a breather and get his lungs back. Whittaker did perform better than in his first encounter with Stylebender, going all 25 minutes with the undisputed champion this time, but ultimately, it was not enough. What did you think of the main event? And do you agree with Bareman that Whittaker probably should have come out a bit more aggressively in the later rounds? Don't forget to take a second to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on the latest fight news. Umar Nurmagomedov will take on Brian Kelleher, who requested Conor McGregor be in his corner. Last week, it was announced that Brian Kelleher would take on Khabib's cousin Umar Nurmagomedov in a bantamweight matchup at UFC 272 on March 5th. It's a great matchup for both men, as Kelleher returns to the division following a brief stint at featherweight. He's on a 2-fight winning streak and will look to stop Nurmagomedov, an undefeated fighter who only just made his UFC debut in January of 2021, a second-round submission win over Sergey Mozrozov. But Kelleher believes he might need the luck of the Irish to get over Umar and is trying to recruit Conor McGregor to corner him in this fight. Don't forget, McGregor has beef with Umar's cousin, Khabib, as the two had a nasty build-up to their well-known clash at UFC 229 in October 2018 that involved cops, a lot of harsh trash talk, and an infamous melee outside the octagon. With that kind of history, Kelleher thought, why not ask the Irishman to see if he'd join him for this one, and requested so on Twitter. At Notorious MMA, hey, would you like to corner me in my next fight at UFC 272 against Khabib's cousin Umar? To which the Dagestani replied with this, it's not gonna help you, Brian. Then Kelleher came back with this, what about God? Can he help me? At the time of this video, both Conor and Umar had yet to respond, but it's a smart move for Kelleher to ask because we're now talking about him. What do you think about Kelleher asking Conor to corner him against Khabib's cousin? And what do you make of this whole exchange?
But that's the only thing, I'll be honest, that's the thing what's pissing me off about, lad. He's going on, he's trying to act like a martyr, like he's helping MMA fighters. He's not, lad. He's just doing that for his own publicity.
Yeah,
he's doing that. He's not. That's what the only thing
mean.
what's pissing me off about people like, oh, he's actually being good for MMA fighters. He's not. He just wants to make a show of Dana White, and that's the perfect way of doing it. You know what I mean?
It is all about that, like.
It's all about that, lad. It's all like the way he's saying, oh, I'm gonna end up getting in the cage. You're not, lad. You're not. Stop lying. Yeah. If you want to have an MMA fight, I'll fight you in my Mars garden tomorrow. You know what I mean?
I don't know what I've seen Bellew tweeting the other.
Khamzat Chimaev not happy about all the cameras out at Tiger Muay Thai in Thailand. While Khamzat Chimaev is continually looking to progress in his skill set and pick up new things to be able to make a run at the welterweight title, he's made a change and is now training at the famed Tiger Muay Thai in Phuket, Thailand. The gym is famous for hosting an incredible amount of talented fighters, from MMA to kickboxing and more. The gym was the known home of Valentina Shevchenko, Alexander Volkanovski, and is currently home to bantamweight champion Peter Yan and surging lightweight Rafael Fiziev. PFL standout Brendan Loughnane is now training there, as well as Bellator welterweight champion Yaroslav Amosov and one championship interim heavyweight champ Anatoly Malikin. It's a who's who of the top fighters from the Eastern Hemisphere. But one thing that really bothers Chimaev is the fact that everyone continually has their phones out recording everything. That's exactly what he said in a recent interview with RT Sport MMA in the Russian language. It's hard to keep any secrets here. Everybody has a camera. Every time I'm doing pad work or rolling, everyone around starts filming. Kind of a mess here in the gym. I don't get it. The thing is, there are much more amateur fighters around than pro fighters. They keep filming all the time. They don't understand that it's a bad idea to film sparring sessions and post them. They don't have any strict rules about filming. No such rules. It's probably good for the gym. People make videos, post them on social media, and the gym becomes popular. Khamzat went on to say that at his home gym in Sweden, there are rules in place to make sure no one films and posts online, to not give anything away. He was especially upset at recent footage being uploaded online that showed him dropping a sparring partner with a body shot, something he believes should remain private. Khamzat is currently preparing for a potential bout against former title challenger Gilbert Burns, although the UFC has yet to announce this fight, with the details still being worked out behind the scenes. What do you think about Khamzat's statements here? A hopeful Jared Cannonier thinks he's the next middleweight contender, certainly over Sean Strickland. Jared Cannonier made a statement at UFC 271, beating Derek Brunson in the second round with beautiful ground and pound elbows. It was especially impressive given how the first round ended, with Brunson on Cannonier's back slapping on a rear naked choke attempt that didn't really work. Cannonier adjusted, knocked down Brunson, and was able to use nasty elbows to put his opponent away. During the post-fight interview, he singled out UFC President Dana White, pleading his case for a middleweight title shot. After the event, the boss man agreed that Cannonier should get the next title shot, especially with Adesanya also saying so after his big win on Saturday. But nothing official has come out yet that this fight would actually take place, and Cannonier is hopeful that the promotion will pit him against the champion. Still, just a few weeks ago, many were saying that Sean Strickland, who beat Jack Hermansson by a unanimous decision, is in the title shot contention as well, despite him being ranked number 6 in the UFC middleweight rankings right now. Both Cannonier and Strickland are the only men who have not faced Adesanya in any capacity in the top 7. During a recent interview with Ariel Helwani this week, Cannonier spoke on his chances of fighting for the title and also questioned Strickland's chances. This is what he said.
And to be honest, it's the fight that happens. It's the fight that should happen. Anybody who's mentioning Sean Strickland, number 7, who just beat number 9, or was it number 6? Or number 6, I don't know how the number rankings go. But I beat number 9 and Kevin Gastelum. Then nobody give me a title shot after that.
Cannonier is on a 2-fight winning streak, has won 5 of his last 6 fights, 4 by finishes, and is ranked number 3 in the division. He has the best case for the next title shot, and more than that, Adesanya even said it immediately after his 4th title defense at UFC 271. What do you guys think? Do you believe we'll see Adesanya versus Cannonier sometime this year? And who you got in this fight? Who is Shaquille O'Neal's favorite active MMA fighter? 4-time NBA champion and basketball legend Shaquille O'Neal is a huge MMA fan and is actually training in the sport as we speak. He credits MMA with getting him back to shape and loves to watch fights just as any other fan. He was certainly watching all the action this past weekend at UFC 271, and the next day, during a Super Bowl party, he was asked who his favorite MMA fighter is right now. His answer didn't disappoint.
I love Nate because I like his fighting style. It's similar to mine. Dave Gaff, you know what that means, and he's just real. I like people that are real. He says, hey, I do this, I'm doing that, Sacramento slap, and you got to respect people like that.
Shaq isn't alone. A large number of MMA fans love watching Nate Diaz fight, as he always puts on an excellent performance, is incredibly vicious, and you never know what's going to happen with him. He's one of the biggest draws in the sport for a reason. Over that same weekend, Nate Diaz announced that he wants to fight Dustin Poirier in a potential retirement fight, as he's on the last fight of his UFC contract. While Poirier says he also wants that fight, it remains to be seen if the UFC actually sets this up, and whether Diaz would actually retire. Poirier certainly doesn't believe so. What are your thoughts on Shaq loving Nate Diaz? And who's your favorite active MMA fighter? Let us know in the comments. Today's video was packed with some juicy stories from the fight world. What are your thoughts about what's going on in MMA? Don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel to see more videos just like this. See you next time.